1,000 subscribers. What can I tell you? It feels good. Feels good. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. Today we're talking about 1,000 subscribers. Finally achieved that mark. All thanks to community. You guys. You guys really drove this channel. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, I did all the work to figure out what you guys needed, what you guys wanted, what you guys were communicating to me. I took all my emotions out the window, and I just sat there and I said, every time I got emotional, I was like, it's a trigger point for me, which means it's a trigger point for somebody else. And then I analyzed that and I put it into the bucket of emotional challenges I faced along the way. And this is the emotional video for figuring out how to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, I promised a video on getting to 1,000 subscribers, and I also promised a video on more technical aspect. However, I've been reviewing the technical aspects, and what can I say? There's a lot of data there. I'm trying to figure some stuff out before I make an official video on that. But the emotional side, that one I can talk about for days. Why can I talk about for days? Because that's what I like to do. Analyze psychology, figure out the pros and cons of different things, make good, better decisions, help people make good, better decisions. This is the whole goal of Mentor's Approach. The other channel I had that did not succeed and get to the 1,000 mark. However, I got a plan for that channel. Stay tuned for that. Hit subscribe and I'll let you know how that journey goes as well. Now, this video is more on the emotional side. You're probably thinking to yourself, 2022 is coming. I want to do something. And how do I do it? Or you're probably sitting there going, I have had 350 people subscribed and it doesn't move. What do I do now? And this is where this video comes into play. I'm going to be making more videos on these topics because this channel really is about making the right decisions at the right time, but in a business sense, in a making and purchasing the right things at the right time, not letting your emotions take control and buying the right things. If you've noticed over the course of the year, I've been making the videos more in tune for creators, business, people that are trying to get into a growth pattern, trying to see what tools, techniques they need to implement into their day-to-day, the idea of buying the right things, planning for the future, figuring out how it fits the narrative. And so I want to give back in this manner of moving in that direction based on all the feedback I've been getting from different people. This is my first tip of getting to 1,000 people. Really, it's looking at your community. And yes, you might say, well, Nico, I don't have a community. Well, that might be so, but then the question is like, what about other people's communities? And what can we analyze from that and then take it back into our community and figure out how we're going to drive more community? This is an important tip. Why? Because I faced that issue. I would sign up to all these programs. I would go with these gurus and they're like, well, what does your data say? What do the stats say? And it's like, nothing. It says nothing because there's no people watching. And they'd look at me and they'd be like, well, we got to get more views then. So you need to publish more. It was like, ah. So am I saying all these gurus and all these people are wrong in saying what they're saying? No, of course not. I encourage people to do as many courses as they can, pick up as much material as they can, watch as much YouTube, go, go, go. But the idea here is community. And you need to look at what's occurring. So if you're making a camera review or, how to use cameras, or maybe you're making anything for creative aspects, stop looking at just how people are making videos. Go into their comments, look at what is happening. What are the questions people are asking? What are the answers they're not getting? The next few videos, that's all I've been looking at with the R6. I'm like, there's like, I think 5 different issues that nobody has solved. And I'm like, oh, that's an easy one. Same with the R5. That's an easy one. There's some questions that nobody has videos on because they don't want to actually solve it. And I'm sitting there and I'm going through all the comments of all these different videos I've watched, all those people that said the camera is great and doesn't overheat. It does. And at that, when does it do it? What are the specifics? Well, these are the things where I'm looking at the community. People aren't getting their answers and then they leave and then they don't come back. All right. So how do we make that part of the equation? Let's make videos for that and then make sure we drive community by, number one, answering questions that people are asking, responding to everybody. I fell behind on this. I did. I fell behind on a few things while we got into this last portion. And I had the community, when I say community, how amazing it was. I had amazing feedback from individuals. They would either comment, they would either message me, or they would email me, and they'd be like, "Hey, you've been doing this, you stopped doing it," or "Hey, these other creators are doing this, I really like it. Have you thought about it?" Or "Hey, when you're doing your videos," a great one. Somebody just messaged me and they were like, "Yo, you should really put in timestamps," and I was doing that. I had a list of things I was doing on the technical aspect, and I stopped doing it because I focused on pushing more videos out. And then I'm like, when I got that message, I was like, yeah, I fell behind on that. Like, that I should not have fallen behind on that, because I've been watching all similar reviews, similar videos, and I'm like, oh, why don't they have timestamps on there? Wow, idiot moment hit, right? So, and I, and the subscriber, I don't want to say his name. I'm not sure if he wants to be called out. And like, I'm thankful for that. Now, what else am I thankful for? All the mean, evil comments. Like, I'm gonna call them evil. Like you guys who sit there and send bad comments to people, negative comments. Like, oh my God, like woo, man, I got some where I'm like, is this like a threat? Like, is this kind of like, do I send this to you know, should I be worried? Like, should I get like police involved? Like, this is insane. Some people, oh man. And, there's other comments where I just kind of sat there and I'm like, I wanted to respond, because, like, if you're doing that to me, and like for these kind of videos, what are you doing for other kind of videos? And like, when you tell somebody to go kill themselves, you should be embarrassed of yourself, And I did respond to a few of those, and I was just kind of like, somebody could like take their life because you sent that message, and we did have a conversation with two of them. The one person just told me to F off. But like with two of them, I did have a conversation. I told them a story about when I first started and how like somebody from another part of the world, messaged me 6 months later and was like, "Hey, thanks for supporting me with," like, they were commenting mean comments, and they were just being like against all my posts that I were making for motivation. And they messaged me and they're like, "You changed my life with those like certain lines that you said in there, and I didn't commit suicide." And I was like, "Whoa, what?" Like, just because I posted certain things, and and these things were just, how to put your mindset in the right way to avoid thinking those negative thoughts. But they were fighting me on what I was writing, and I was like, why is this person fighting me? Why are they being so mean-spirited? I don't understand. I'm just trying to help people. And then it clicked in, that like this person was changing. But then when they emailed me to tell me that, it was like, okay, now I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I want to help people. But then when people are messaging me for this stuff and I'm seeing that, I'm just kind of like, whoa, like, yo, if you're going and doing this to other people, like, it's not going to affect me. Like, I don't really care. Like, I got stuff doing, man. I'm moving. I'm having fun with life. I'm enjoying everything. And these bad comments aren't going to affect me. Um, and you sit there and you go to yourself, how? And now I took all that in, and this is where I wanted to share this message. If you're getting messages like this on your channels, if you're growing your channel and you're seeing this negativity, you're seeing some harsh things, move on. Don't even worry about it. Don't. There's thousands of people watching. Who cares? It does not matter at all. It does not. You move forward and you take that information and you go, why would somebody say that? Okay. I turned it into this, hey, part of the community. Why would somebody come onto a hard drive website, okay, a video, and go, hey, I am writing, like, they came from my website where this is connected to, and they wrote it through there, and they go, hey, I watched your video, and like they went off on me. And I sat there and I'm like, wow, this guy's a fanatic about Samsung. And I just hit a pain point. Well, if I hit that pain point, what does that mean? So let's put that into the equation of what am I going to do with my next videos? How do I make the video in a way where I provide the value? Okay, look at the emotional response of people so that it is beneficial to the video. And then from there, how do I engage it in a way, or create the engagement in a way where people are responding in a positive way. So how does that fit the narrative? And then how does that turn into a value where somebody's going to come back and watch more? Somebody's going to message me, be like, hey, I loved your video. I didn't understand this and this. Can you explain that further? Can you make another video about it? I get a lot of people who will ask me certain questions, and I'm like, how did you not get that out of the video? And I go back and I watch it 5 times. And then I go, oh, okay. So at this point and this point, I need to change that because I said it too quick, or I said it in a way where it didn't hit like a pain point for that individual to, okay, it made sense. And I've been that on the other side with other people's videos where I went back and I'm like, how did they miss this? And then I went back and I'm like, oh, wait, they did say it, but it was like brief. And maybe that's a more important aspect of it. And then now it makes sense of why they missed it. Simple. So we're taking all that, and this is the power of community. This is the power of being able to grow that and then start to rely on the people that matter, not your friends and family who tell you, hey, your hair is off, or your teeth are off, or hey, you talk too fast, or you talk too slow, or you're more tanned in your videos. You should wait to make more videos when you're not tanned. Yeah. Okay. And this is where you take a step back now. Okay. You take a step back and you look at this whole idea and you go, all right, community, that's one aspect. Two, I realized with Mentor's Approach, my personality wasn't coming out. And that's where in this side of things, I'm like, I want to be me. I want to be more me. And I realized I haven't achieved that task. And I think vlogs will be a good way to introduce that. I think showing in the background what is occurring. I want to put more of that perspective in it. So you're going to see a lot more. I have videos that I didn't release for the longest time. I was making vlogs and I would put them up and I never released them. And then, I was going through like, I got like 28 terabytes on Google, and now I'm figuring out all the email issues because Mentor's Approach is starting to grow. This, that, I need to hire people, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I gotta, change the ecosystem of Google Business and the whole suite. They're changing to enterprise, whatever. So my costs are gonna go up once again because that's what happens. And I was just going through some data, and I'm like, oh man, this video is like I like building this studio. I got like so many videos, I never made them, and it's like maybe I should do that. And then maybe all the work we do. Let's introduce that. So that's going to be a phase of it where it's your personality that comes into play. That's an aspect that I still brought out here, but it wasn't like full throttle. And I want to introduce that. I want to bring out the Nikos Rentas real character that exists out in the world. Okay. What do I mean by character? I think personality matters. And this is the point too. Personality matters. And when you look at your favorite YouTubers, when you look at your favorite actors, when you're looking at your favorite movies, there are personality traits that come out that you attract to. And there's that intensifying moment where you realize you connect with the individual in front of you. And then you want to watch more with that person. You like the way they talk, you like the way they respond where to different aspects of what they're doing. You like the whole aspect of the persona that they introduce because you relate to them in some form or way. And I think it's so incredibly critical. Now, people will ask, well, Nico, this is hard because I don't even like to be on camera. Nobody does, okay? Until they do. That's it. Nobody does until they do. You got to put this into perspective. I didn't like my voice until like 400 videos in, and I'm like, I like my voice. And then I made a video about it, and I didn't realize until I made 500 videos that I really, really like my voice. Okay. And this is the idea here. Like, even when I'm like, I've lost about, was it 12 pounds now? I've been working to lose weight as much as I can because I wasn't paying attention to all that. And I love how I look now in front of the camera more than I do 12 pounds more. And I'm like, all right, why did I allow myself to get to that point, and why didn't I do something quicker? And it was just kind of like I gave excuses to it. Now I'm liking who I want to be. And then I can take that and relate it to the whole idea of what you're creating. So personality does matter. And then you look at it and you go, well, maybe you don't want to be on camera. That's great, because there's people out there that make great videos and they're never on camera. But their character, their personality, their whole idea of who they are comes out in the way they make their videos. And that's what you have to look at in terms of the community. What does the community want? Okay. If I was sitting here making these videos as a sarcastic person, like I've seen some other people do, and or too serious, like I've seen some other people do, then I look at it and I go, is that really me? A. B, is it the community I want to build? Right? Authenticity, when they say authenticity, this is what they really mean. It's being authentic is being you and being able to provide the best of you, not the person that is, upset because YouTube's not taking off. Not the person who's upset because their family is going, why do you keep working on YouTube and you suck and you shouldn't be doing it? And then, coming on here and going, I'm still going to do it. And then you don't continue. You need to find that idea of passion as it relates to putting it into your work, into whatever you're doing. It's the passion that comes into play. We look at this and we even say, like, look, just look at the news anchors, look at the sports anchors. Just by that, their personality, you see some people and you're like, I don't want to watch this guy. I don't want to watch this girl. Like, oh my God. And then you have other ones where you're like, yeah, delight. Love to watch, hear them, see what they say. I love how they respond to the situations and based on how they're talking, all that. And and that came from watching like the Greek news, man. Like in Greece, they interrupt people. And there's one guy, he interrupts everybody, and he's always right. And I'm like, why are we watching this? You know. And I noticed that, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be that idea of that individual. And I think that's what I was in Mentor's Approach. I was just kind of like, it's always I know the best, maybe. I was educating, and it's more of a discussion that channel should be, and that's kind of the changes I'm going to introduce there. And this is the idea of that personality. I think that is important, and I think you need to take a step back if you're looking at it and saying, how do I do this? How do I create this in a way that makes sense for me to continue? Because that passion is going to drive you to create more and more videos on the things that need to work. Now, as you get into the idea of that third step becomes once you find and figure out how the community is shaping up, once you start to see how people are responding, and then you get into the idea of who you are, what you're presenting, how that all fits the narrative, you're going to drive out certain passionate aspects of what you're creating. And you're going to look at your stats, and this becomes more of intent. What are you going to be creating with intent? Okay. And how does that look? Now, in my 500 sub video, I talked about how I don't want to be a reviewer. I'm not a reviewer. I want to give back to everybody. And help them make better decisions with everything they're buying, with everything they're doing. So I take a step back and I say to myself, all right, how does that really look? So once I look at the community, I look at what the responses I was getting and then how people were responding with different aspects. And then I look at it in terms of who I am. I go, what is it that I really want to be doing? And I started to curate what my videos are going to be on. Instead of me sitting there going, what should I make today? What should I make today? It was, I have a list. I have like 40, 50 things right now that I know I'm going to be making through 2022. So when I say subscribe, like I mean it. You're going to love the information that's coming out through this channel. The content will deliver good, high value information. I'm spending a lot of time, okay, on the idea of brainstorming to invest a lot of time into creating. And this is where I say to myself, why do I say spending? Because it should be investing. In both cases, it's because I'm looking at it, I'm saying, I know how much time I need to invest in that. Now I'm spending even more time so I can drive more investment into that time. So where like from a business perspective, I shouldn't be. I should just let the growth happen. But I want to accelerate this idea because I want to see the end results of my thesis on all of this. And I look at it now and I say to myself, all right, now that I have all this information that's coming in, like people ask me to get the Firecuda 530, for instance, and the budget wasn't there for me. I was like, why would I need to buy, like the price point was too high. And I was like, yeah, it might drive more views, but is that really needed? Is that something that is critical? Or can I get the information out for other things that I know people have asked me for? And this is where you look at it and you say to yourself, okay, make a good decision on it. Now, I did pick up the Firecuda 530. I'm going to be making a video on that. I'm going to be comparing it to everything else. How does it fit in the system? How does it look like for gamers and creators? And I sit there and I go to myself, all right, I got it because it was on sale. That's it. I buy all the stuff that comes in. I buy everything and then I test it because these are the tools I'm using for business. And I want to instill these mindsets like the mindset behind all of this so that people can make better decisions with their purchases, so that people can figure out what they need to grow their businesses, their hobbies, or their anything they're trying to do. So I look at it in this manner. So the videos came out of more of a passion, more of a, hey, I'm responding to everything and what fits my passion. And my passion is on the things that I'm currently purchasing. And like, when I teach a course, I like this, whoever's in that course will be like, yo, why are you talking about gimbals so much right now? Well, because I was buying gimbals for those 2 months, or why are you talking about cameras right now or lenses? Because that's what my focus was. I spend a lot of time researching, and then I invest a lot of time in researching specifics. And then I make my purchase, and then I test everything out to make sure it's good. I bought some cards right now and I made a mistake. $1,500, is it down the drain? I don't know. I'm talking with a company right now and I'm like, yo, these are crap. Like, what happened here? And I'm doing the testing, and it's just kind of like you're sitting there going, can I even return these right now? Okay. And this is I broke my rule of thumb. On purchases, and when, especially when you're not 100% certain on the tech and everything. So these are important concepts, and I want to look at these. I look at this in terms of that passion, and you look at it and you say to yourself, all right, what's growing? Like, I could have focused on routers. Those were like the big videos that really drove subscribers, drove views. I don't want to be in that realm. So I took a step back from that. And yes, people messaged me and were like, why don't you continue in that? One of the gurus I know that I was talking to about all this stuff, that I've taken their course, they're like, well, you should focus on routers. And I'm like, but that's not me. Well, just get to where you need to be and then you can change it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't see that being the reason, because then it's about subs, and it's not about subs. It's about getting to that place where the channel grows based on my passion. So I don't feel like, pushed to do certain videos in order to maintain the channel with the status quo. These are like the kind of the rules I was building. Now, like, the other aspect I wanted to introduce is the aspect of like the step 4, where you got to look at everything and say, all right, where's my plan to continue moving forward? And what's that plan looking like in a year? There's no way this would have continued if I didn't stick to the challenge of making videos in the process. I focused on on making sure my thumbnails were great. I focused on the wording. I focused on how the title is going to be. I focused on how the videos are going to be. I focused on sticking to my guns on many aspects, including how I'm going to communicate the information. I don't use a script. I don't walk through and talk about the stuff beforehand. And I think about it, about what I think is important. I make a list. And then from that list, I talk from it, because I know the stuff I want to talk about. And I just talk from it. If I make the list, I sound too robotic. If there's script to it. If there's no script to it, I don't sound robotic. I have the pause like I just did because I had a different thought. Okay. And it came in and it was in Greek and I had to translate it, and you sit there and you're like, okay, that's authentic to me. But if I'm reading it, I'm robotic, and I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I've done that, been there, done that. Don't want to do it. Okay. Doing what I need to be doing is coming at it in the confidence manner so I can be confident on camera. Be that person I want to be watching. Okay. So these are the rules I set up. So you need to make the rules, and you're going to say, I'm going to stick to them and I'm going to change them as I move along. But instead of using the word change, use just like minute analysis, and then look at what needs to change very minute size. So if I'm making the wording in one way, how do I change the wording? If I'm making my videos in one way, how do I change them again? So the intro, do I need an intro? Maybe I'll try some videos without the intro. Maybe I got to shrink the intro. Maybe I need to do more of a pull. Maybe I got to add these kind of words in there as I go. And this is where you start to introduce factors of change, because you're seeing, why am I changing things? Okay. This is critical. Now, step 5, oh man, on the mindset game, don't worry about the numbers. If you're stuck at 300, don't worry about the 300. It is the matter of looking at all the things I just talked about, looking at those top videos that people are making, looking at what the community is saying, looking at your attitude towards how you're going to move in making a video. It's your person your personal flavor into the video, and then looking at it and saying, I'm going to keep making the videos better. What will happen is you're going to pick up a few videos, and these are the stats that are going to come into the stats behind everything when I create that video, the technical analysis. And you're going to see that it was a handful of videos that drove everything. And then what occurred was there was videos that weren't doing anything, and then all of a sudden those picked up. And I don't know why. I don't. And then all of a sudden they picked up, and my channel just drove. So I look at it in that way, where there's like 5, 6 videos that are going to bring you and jumpstart you. I'm going to be doing this with the Mentors Approach channel. I'm going to introduce that process into this, so into this channel, so you can see what I'm doing there, and I'm going to come back with feedback on that. Now, what will happen? This is the idea of okay, that channel is dead. Like it started, it picked up, and then it died. I'm going to introduce certain aspects that I'm explaining right here, and literally, I'm going to be like, hey. Okay, how does it fit the narrative? Let's look at the narrative and let's move on it. Done deal. Okay, and we're gonna see the idea behind the changes I made. I'm gonna see the minute changes I make. How am I gonna adjust the rules as I go, and then keep growing in that fashion. I want to see results, and this is all I cared about with this channel. These things that I just talked about and results. Now, there's no, oh, 1,000 subscribers. It wasn't about 1,000 subscribers. I made a goal for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but it wasn't firm. It wasn't like I need to, it was the idea of getting to 1,000. I want to have 1,000. In order to do 1,000, I'm going to do all this stuff. And in order to do all this stuff, I got to get my rules, and I got to stick to my rules. I got to stick to my guns. And if somebody tells me you should be doing this, I'm not going to listen. I'm going to stick to my guns. Okay? Countless times, people told me, don't do this or that. Stop doing this or that. I stuck to my guns. I'm going to make a whole list out of this stuff, and I'm going to make probably another couple videos so I can introduce these things so that makes more sense for everybody. And then on top of that, I'm looking at it and saying, all right, what's my passion? So I focused on that passion. The mindset, the negative aspect is what's killer here. I can't express this enough. This is like when I see the other people, other creators growing, how do I react? If you're reacting to it in a negative way, that is a dangerous place to be in with how you are going to proceed. I switched that mindset. Like, you know how many times this year as I was growing, I sat there and I was like, wow, this person made this video. Good for them. They got like 30,000 views. Where before I was really, really negative, because of Mentors Approach channel. And I was like, how does this person get 30,000? Man. But now it's just like, man, this guy made 30,000 views on this. Oh, man, that's great because I'm going to make a similar video. I'm going to make it better. Okay. And I'm going to answer the things I know people are going to want. And I'm going to get 30,000 views as well. And guess what? If I can get 30,000 views with what I present, I'll probably get 50 or 60. That is my thought process. Hands down. Being positive is not I'm going to try to be positive. Being positive is like literally going, I'm going to be grateful for what I've been doing. And then I'm going to look at what other people are doing. I'm going to be grateful for they were able to do it and that there is a market for this stuff. And guess what? I'm going to go do that thing I need to do to get some of this market. That's it. I want a percentage. I want a cut. That's it. Positivity comes from you saying, where's the opportunity? Positivity comes from you saying, if there's an opportunity, I'm going to take advantage of it. Positivity comes from you being accountable to yourself. That's it. Accountable. Did I want to make several videos this week? No, I want to hang out with my family and do other stuff. I need to be accountable though. I need to get the videos out. I need to continue on my path, on my journey on this. This is critical. Accountability is critical. So take a step back from everything. Look at everything you've been doing if you're trying to grow a channel, if you're trying to relaunch a business or start a new business. If you're trying to do different things, take a step back, look at this. Say to yourself, what is the plan? And how am I going to be accountable to my plan? This will make a lot of sense as you move forward. And it's going to help you in that path for you to be successful. Now, I know this is a longer video than expected. I know I went in a rant in some cases, and in some cases it was a teachable moment. The thing that I want to really hit the nail here on is that 2022, things are changing. We're going to see a lot of changes. Technology is going to change. A lot of opportunities with the technology that's coming. The way money is made is going to change. The business opportunities are going to change. What you are doing right now is going to change with any aspect of technology as it relates to your life, your personal life, your business life. And we're going to see a big shift in a lot of things of how we used to function into what we are going to be functioning in. The question becomes, are you going to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are coming? If you look at 2022 and you look at the previous years, if you look at the gurus and what they're going to be saying, it's all going to be similar once again. However, there's going to be a lot of shift in how people are, from a psychological perspective, how they are moving in their day-to-day life. If we're looking at this whole crisis we went through, it looks like this idea of what's going to happen with the new, temporary, okay, there's no lockdowns, this temporary idea of restrictions. And then we're going to see this wave come through, and then we're going to see the medication come out, and then we're going to see this aspect of a new normal form. Things will change because we're already seeing things change. And as we see these things change, we got to adapt to them. If your business is doing well, it might not be doing well. If your career is going well, it might not be going well. It could be the vice versa. What I do know is that if you had 300 subscribers, this could be your year to get to 1,000. Done. What I do know is that if you were at 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, it could be the year where everything kind of slows down for you, getting complacent. Why? Because a lot of changes will come, and it's going to happen in 2023 and 2024. And I think our 2025 will be that breakout year away from everything that was negative. Economy is going to suffer the next couple of years as well. It's all like aligned. Okay. And I'm putting this out there for you guys so that you can see that it's not negative. None of this is negative. This is all positive. I looked at this year and I said, where's the positivity for me? Where can I be positive? Okay, I can fake it till I make it as a positive person, or I can find the opportunity, take advantage of the opportunity, and from there, be accountable on the rules I'm going to set so that I can harness all the opportunity that comes my way. I used to do this when I was younger, and everything was amazing. And for the last 7 years, became complacent. I think this is where this message is coming from. Okay. And I finally got it back. And it's a trigger for me. I'm moving forward. I'm going to be releasing all these courses. I'm going to be doing a lot of giving back. And it's like, I don't know where it came from other than what I'm talking about right now and what my journey has been with YouTube. And a similar journey would be with my businesses. And a similar journey would be with friends and family. And a similar journey would be with me and my health, feeling better, being active. Like I went out and I walked for 4 hours in Toronto taking pictures with my new camera. I died, the legs were gone, but I made it home. And I was like, I can't wait to do it again, you know? And this is where it had been a while. So to put this to a conclusion, my goal here is to put this in the mindset category and then create another video with the technical aspects and then expand on both of those as we move through the year. Firstly, your community. Look at that. Look at other people's community. Look at how everything is moving in your niche and adjust to it. Number two would be to look at the idea behind your persona. What are you presenting to people? Do you like that? How do you adjust to that? How do you change things on that? Start to analyze what is it that people need. Analyze it, start to figure that out, and put that all into perspective so that you can create the videos that they want to see, so that it fits the narrative of the idea of who your persona is, and that you can drive passion from it. Start to build on this. And as you build into this, the last two steps will come into play. And all you have to do is be accountable. This is it. My name is Nikos. Thank you, thank you, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for making this an awesome year for me. The journey has been awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you have reached out, who have helped me out. I appreciate all the negative people that came up and told me how, how horrible of a person I am because I don't like Samsung, which I don't. I like Samsung. I just not that drive. So Samsung, if you're watching, I do like it. Don't worry. And I can't wait for this year to grow this and make things, even bigger of an end result than I am expecting it to be next year. And I will be giving back. I'm creating a course on how to do all this stuff. I will be giving back throughout the year. I'm going to be making plans to help people on one end, and on the other end, I want to do some special giveaways as we move forward. I buy a lot of stuff. I test a lot of stuff, and I'm like, do I use everything? So this is the mindset as I move forward. And of course, have a great New Year's, great 2022, and reach out if you need anything. Just reach out. Don't forget, check out these two videos.